K-pop stocks have been tanking for the last 12 months. Reuters said that there may be two reasons. The most obvious one is BTS's absence. However, the bank HSBC also think that inflation has more to do with it. Is HSBC right? Is it inflation that's keeping the K-pop stocks down, or is it BTS? Can BTS really affect the K-pop stock market, or is it just another ARMY delusional claim? Does it mean that if it is BTS that's affecting the market, then when they come back, they should be able to rescue it? But what if they don't? What if it stays down? Then what does that mean? Besides, why is the damn stock market important anyway?
Okay, before I proceed, let me make my legal disclaimer so that nobody can sue me. This is not a financial advice. I'm not a certified planner. Past performance is not indicative of future gains. Any kind of investment you make actually has innate risks. So make sure that you do your own research and you consult professionals before you make any financial decision. So whatever it is that I'm going to say here, make this a part of your initial research, not a comprehensive one. Okay, I think nobody can sue me now. I will also put this at the end of the video just to make sure. All right, if you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And share the video if you can. On to the video.
Is it inflation that's keeping the K-pop stock market down? If it is inflation, then the market should be doing better when inflation goes down. But it hasn't. Inflation has been consistently going down, and K-pop stock is also going down. Let's look at the actual numbers. South Korean inflation for 2023 was 3.59%, and that was lower than that of the previous year, 2022, at 5.9%. This year, year to date, it's even lower, 2.25%. But BTS is a global artist, so we should also look at other markets. Inflation of US, China, and Japan are all down this year. If HSBC is right, then the K-pop stock market should also be going up. You should be seeing the graphs on your screen right now, but here are the numbers for clarity. It's very clear. It's not inflation. It's BTS. Some of the biggest K-pop acts have been touring and releasing albums since 2023 and this year. But that didn't help the K-pop stock market cap. Since the announcement of BTS's Jin's return, HYBE stock has gone up 0.25%. Now, the question is, can we expect BTS to push the K-pop stock market up now that they are starting to come back? Before we get into it, we first need to understand some basics. Why is stocks important anyway?
The stock market is an institution that aims to make money by making money. It's like Ponzi scheme. I'm kidding. But you know how in business, so you put in your money, you create a product or a service, people pay for that, and then you make money, right? But in the stock market, you put in your money and then you're going to get money back. So, like Ponzi scheme. All right, I'm kidding. But yeah, but not the part about money making money. That's really how you do it. You put in money and then it's going to make money.
Companies sell stocks to raise capital for new ventures, expansion of their business, development of new products or services, and other purposes. So when you buy a share, you're effectively helping the business expand or improve. Now, there's a process on how they actually take the money, but I'm not going to discuss that. It's not really the focus of this video. There are two types of investors: retail investors and institutional investors. Retail investors are individual investors who buy and sell actively. Some do swing trading, meaning they sell when the stock reaches a certain amount, or they buy when the stock that they are targeting go to a certain price. An institutional investor buys, sells, and manages stocks, bonds, and other investment securities on behalf of its clients, customers, members, or shareholder. For example, if you have $500,000, you can go to a fund manager, they pool your money with other investors, and they invest it in certain stocks. These people invest long-term. And these are the investors you want because you want to keep their money with you for the long term. What will make investors want to buy your stocks and keep there long term? Short answer is big gains or big income. That's what they want. They want to buy shares in companies that will double, triple, quadruple their investments. That is their only concern. The stock market is there to make money, not to promote the arts or grow a certain industry or whatever. They are just there to make money. Now, for the long answer. Knowing what will gain big is easier said than done. If it is an exact science, then everyone investing will be billionaires and there will be no losers. At the end of the day, it's a big gamble. Sure, there are trends and numbers to look at, but at the end of the day, it's still your best judgment that you use to determine which company is going to be big in the future. Long-term investors look into what is going to be big in 5, 10, 15, or even 20 years. If they invest in something cheap now, and then it goes big in 10 years or 15 years, then the money that they're going to earn will be big as well. They call that gains. So that's the secret. They buy low, they wait for it to go up, and then they sell. How do we know what will go big in the future? There are some technical analysis that some traders and investors use to determine which stocks will go up. You should be seeing some on your screen right now, and I can discuss this, but it should be in another video. Just let me know if you want me to. There are also some businesses and economic landscapes to look at. For example, when Rivian, the electric vehicle company, recalled their cars for safety issues, their stocks dropped. When there is a political instability, it's possible for the stock market to go down. And then there's just the vision, looking at the changing market needs, how people live their lives, the technology. Some people can actually predict what needs the market will eventually come up. They use that vision plus some technical analysis, maybe even historical analysis, and then they bet on those companies or those products. In other words, investors look for innovation and potential, and you have to remember that the future is what investors bet on. They look for innovation and its potential, and they put their money there. So how does this connect to BTS? Well, BTS was the torchbearer. In every new industry, or just industry in general, there is always a torchbearer, the company or product or both that paved the way for others. They showed the potential of the market through innovation and market demand. In electric vehicles or EVs, for example, there's Tesla. Investors are looking into Tesla to gauge how the innovation is going to go and how the market will react if there is any future in the industry. In cryptocurrency, it's Bitcoin, although they are not in the stock market. In cell phones, it was actually Apple before Samsung actually entered to compete. BTS was the torchbearer for Kpop and actually eventually the torchbearer of global music. When BTS entered, it seemed BTS suddenly showed a business and marketing model that was a mixture of both old and new strategies. But more importantly, that model worked. It worked so well that their company eventually became a conglomerate. BTS started selling CDs. CDs are old, and they were certainly not the first ones to do it, but they were the first ones to do it on a global scale. With multiple CD versions, free CD-only songs, and direct relationships with their fan base, BTS sold CDs in numbers no one thought would be possible again. They also introduced new concepts by using underlying narratives in each era and messages in each song. Further, they developed a relationship with their fans never before seen, even in the K-pop industry, who has always claimed to be fan-focused. But I'm not gonna expound on that. That's not really the focus of the video. What BTS's success brought was use case for investors. They showed investors that the industry still has potential. Now, here is where it gets tricky. Just like in electric vehicles, for investors to continue investing in them, other acts must come after them. That is an indication that what BTS introduced isn't just a potential, but can be repeated by other acts. So that was the big question. Can someone follow BTS? And that question was answered when BTS went on hiatus as a group and no other K-pop act went up to their level. Some groups would usually do well in one aspect. For example, they would do really well in sales, but their streams doesn't match. Some are really good in media coverage and branding, but the sales of their concert tickets aren't really good. The market realized something. No one is there to pick up the slack, so investors pulled out their investments. But now that BTS is coming back, will investors come back? We really shouldn't expect it. Remember that the long-term investors invest in the future. Let's go back to the EV market for a minute. Tesla is making waves, but if no other company follows, investors won't put their money in the industry because one of the worst things that you can do as an investor is to put your money in only one company. But other companies are actually following the footsteps of Tesla. That is not happening in K-pop. In the 18 months since BTS took a break as a group from actively promoting, no other group has shown potential. Pressed for time, BTS solo members didn't have much time to promote, and only one member managed to go on a compact tour. That affected the numbers, and that is very important to investors. Investors won't have a reason to continue investing in an industry that isn't showing signs of growth. The return of Jin has already propped up HYBE stock by 0.25%, and people are anticipating it will continue to go up as he becomes active and as other members come back. That may happen, and that would speak of just how powerful they are for investors to go in just because they are coming back. But it is also unfair to even expect this for all the reasons I have already mentioned. K-pop, and frankly the whole music industry, has to innovate. They have to go the biggest stars that they have, Taylor Swift, BTS, and find their place in the future. So what can exactly revitalize the market? What the market is going to look for, as I've said, is innovation in K-pop. Actually, innovation in the music industry. It is clear that streaming changed the landscape drastically and no one saw it coming. If there's anything we should learn by this, it is the undeniable influence of technology in arts, and that includes music. The metaverse and NFTs, I know that a lot of you hate that word, but those two things will change how we own and consume things, and that includes art. It is important for someone to lead the way, just like how Tesla is leading the way in EVs, and just like how Apple led the way in the mobile phone industry. Someone has to show investors where the music industry will be in the future. HYBE's venture into gaming, NFTs, blockchain, and the metaverse. HYBE's strategy is to use IP of their artists and music to develop books, TV shows, merch, and games. The development of BT21, Seven Fates Chacos, and In the Som are some good steps towards this direction. It shows exactly how developing the IP and the fan base of an artist and music could usher those consumers into the metaverse and into gaming and into purchasing other merchandise. The problem was that they were interrupted. They had to serve the military. So whatever momentum they built up, it was paused. HYBE got into game publishing with Astra Knights of Vida and Rhythm Hive. Of the two, Rhythm Hive is the only one utilizing artist IP, and the game isn't so good. Neither of these games is providing investors good enough of a reason to buy back in. The industry has to move fast and move well for investors to want to buy back in. I personally think the future is in the blockchain, NFT, and the metaverse, but unless someone concretely shows investors where music fits in this universe, investors won't buy back in. I will explain further these concepts in my Patreon, since the mere mention of NFT makes a lot of people very, very uncomfortable and angry.
Now, let me just make it clear. BTS shouldn't be expected to do anything for the K-pop industry anymore. When they started chapter 2, they made it very clear that they just want to make the kind of music that they want to make, right? They want to go back to the reason they started all of this, and that is love for music. They want to experiment, see who they are artistically, and the entire industry owes them that. They should be allowed to pursue what they want. That being said, I do think that at some point it's just a natural reaction that when they come back, they are going to affect the stock market. No one should put it on them, but I think it's just natural that they're going to affect it. But that is not even the issue. That is not what the K-pop industry and the music industry in general should be thinking about at this stage. They really should be thinking about the future, the very far future ahead. Where is this headed? What kind of innovation should they introduce? Where is the music industry going 10, 20, 30 years from now? That's what they should be thinking. Now, as I've said, I think once BTS comes out, Bang Shi-hyuk Hybe will be able to roll out a lot of the projects that have been frozen or projects that they've been trying but aren't working. Now they'll be able to test all of that. I do think the metaverse is going to be a big part of it. Gaming is going to be a big part of it, and that will happen in the metaverse as well. NFTs, love it or hate it, there's nothing you can do. It's going to happen. All of that I think they will start experimenting. Now, the success of that is not just going to be on BTS, but on how the market is going to respond, how good the technology, how the technology is, adoption, how good the concepts are. There's so many factors in there. There's also the factor of timing. Are they going to go in too early or something? We don't know. But a lot of that will be out of BTS's hands. They will be able to affect some of it, but not all of it anymore. There's so many things that will go into it. So the answer to the question in the beginning, does BTS really affect the stock market? Yes, they do. But people are asking the wrong question now. They should stop their obsession with BTS and really look into the K-pop industry and music industry and see where this is going to fit in the future. Okay, now I hope that sort of helped in understanding how the stock market works, how technology actually affects the stock market, how people decide where to put their money, and more importantly, on a larger scale, where music and artists actually fit in this big puzzle of the global financial industry. I hope that helps. I don't know if I was able to explain it well. I hope I did. But if you have questions, I am more than happy to actually answer your questions. So please don't hesitate to ask me. If you have your own point of view, if you have something to say, please go ahead and say them. I would love to have a rich discussion around this. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Please consider liking this and of course subscribing and hitting that notification button, and share the video if you can, please, and don't hesitate to get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now. Follow me on Patreon, on X or Twitter, and of course share the video if you can. Thank you.